All right, so as I said before, to prepare for class, you need your Unit 2, Section 3 journal, your notes notebook, or your IDS practice book, pages 121 to 123, and the activity 2.14 Titanic Shuffle. So we are talking about the Titanic Shuffle today. It's very much like our horror movie shuffle, lesson 13 last week, but we're talking about the Titanic. So the main difference between the horror movie shuffle and today's lesson, the Titanic Shuffle, is that in the horror movie shuffle, we used a categorical variable like gender, male versus female. In today's lesson, we're using a numerical variable, okay, which is going to be the ticket fare, the price of the ticket that they paid. Okay. So I was telling my other class earlier, I'm like, you know what? The horror movie shuffle and the Titanic Shuffle needs to become a TikTok dance. Could you imagine the horror movie shuffle? We can put some thriller moves in there. And the Titanic Shuffle really needs to have one of the like moves in there. I'm just saying. Anyone want to speak, like head that up? I don't know. I don't have a TikTok, but it's all you. I give you the idea. You can credit me later. All right. Our objective for today's lesson, ladies and gentlemen, is you will continue to understand that just by chance, you can see differences which are usually small between two groups. Okay, so usually when we're talking about chance, right, a random occurrence, like something that just happened, you're not going to see a lot of difference in the randomizations. When you compare it to like real data, you want to see how much different the real data is from your simulated data. Okay. Our essential concept is what I was saying, where we can also shuffle data based on numerical variables. The statistic we use is the difference in the mean. So we're going to be finding the difference in the means. The distribution we form by this type of shuffling still represents what happens if chance were the only factor at play, right? Nothing else, just chance. And this right here, this is probably like the main takeaway from these last two lessons. When differences are small, we suspect that they might be due to chance. But when differences are big, we suspect they might be real, meaning like there's some other factors, there's real world factors playing at it as well, right? Because chance is random, but once you bring in other real world factors, then things might change, okay? All right, so let's take a look back at what we've done so far. You've already learned how to determine if a difference is due to chance by shuffling on a categorical variable, our gender and survival, okay? Remember from lesson 13 that by chance is the difference. When it was by chance, our differences were typically like a 0.0, so they were very small, right? Like a 0.0 something, point, or even a negative. And with our horror movie shuffle, the main difference was like a 0.10, right? But our by chance differences were like 0.03 or 0.02 or whatever. So most of the time, the differences were pretty small. Sometimes they were bigger, but that was rare. And this tells you that if you see small differences, you might think they are due to chance. But if you see big differences, that usually means they're not just due to chance. Okay, this is now the third time I've mentioned this concept. So having mentioned this 3 times, I want you in your journals to write what you think small and big differences mean. Literally said it 3 times in the last 5 minutes. Okay, so I'm going to say 2 minutes to write this down. Be sure to provide units in your answer, which in the case of the horror movie data, we were talking about percent points, right? Difference in the percents. For example, a big difference in the horror movie data might be 5% points. A small difference might be like 1% point or 0.0 something percent point, that kind of deal. So 2 minutes to write in your explanations for what you think small and big differences mean in your journal. All right, so hopefully you guys were able to say something along the lines of, if your differences are small, right? If differences in the means are small, then it usually means that it was just due to chance. It was a random occurrence. If our differences are on a larger scale, then we can say that it's based on real things. So essentially, it's something more than just chance. There's other factors at play. And those factors could be a variety of things. Whatever real life has to offer, essentially. So today's a lesson, okay? In today's lesson, you will learn how to determine if there is a difference between groups when a numerical variable is involved, okay? So for today's lesson, we're going to assume the role of a passenger on the Titanic. In case you may not know about the Titanic, you may want to Google Titanic or ask friends and family what they know about the ship, okay? Disclaimer. The Titanic was the largest cruise ship ever built and was declared to be unsinkable. However, on its first voyage, it sank and was one of the worst maritime disasters in history. About 40, no, worst, one of the worst maritime.
On its first voyage?
On its very first voyage, yeah.
Dude, I thought it was at the, like, you know.
No, very first voyage from London to New York.
Oh my, can I get into something real quick?
Give me a second. So about 40% of passengers, about 40% of passengers survived. However, the passengers' chances of survival depended very much on their age, gender, and wealth. Carter, what did you want to say, hon?
Okay, there's actually a book that came out not that long before it that's called The Fall of the Titan, and it detailed exactly what the Titanic was and what happened to it.
Oh.
And yeah, it's so cool. Oh my god, I had a Titanic face.
I mean, there's been documentaries done on it. You know, I mean, of course, we all know the Titanic film. The Titanic film, obviously, it's not a true story about the passengers, but about what happened in the events and how the Titanic sank and stuff like that. Yes, that's true. But you know, the passengers, Jack and Rose, you know, I'm sure there was a Jack and a Rose on the Titanic, but it's not like they really existed for the way the movie was. But anyway, so we're going to look at whether the amount of money a passenger paid for his or her cabin, okay, the fare price, had anything to do with whether or not he or she survived. Okay, so we're essentially looking at if a person's ticket amount had anything to do with their survival, right? Which means essentially, if you paid a lot, then you're wealthier. If you paid a little bit, then you're poor, right? So if we were in class, I'd be giving you guys little strips of like Titanic survivors and victims and blah, blah, blah. We're not doing that, obviously, because we're not in class. Adam's asking Carter, what's the book?
I believe it's called Fall of the Titan. But
She's
yeah, you can look up like Titanic book.
them, right?
Yeah.
Okay. They said that it's called The Fall of the Titan. The Fall of the Titan. I just connected that Titanic.
And it was created before the Titanic was built or conceptualized and built.
Oh, very cool. Adam says thank you.
Or it's the Fall of the Titan.
The fall of it's Fall of a Titan or the fall of
It's something. It's
Titan.
something called. It's something Titan.
something Titan related.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So here's a note, guys. You have to understand when we're about to look at the fare prices, right? These fare prices are legit fare prices from 1912. Okay. So I want you guys to notice the prices on the strips or what we're about to see on the Excel sheet. Is the amount of money that a given passenger paid for their ticket to board the Titanic. So $20 in 1912 is the equivalent of $500 today. Okay. So I want you guys to think about that. So if someone paid $8 for their ticket, that's like the equivalent of paying $200 today or $250, something along those lines. So keep that in mind when you look at these prices. There's also called what?
It's called the Wreck of the Titan.
The Wreck of the Titan. There you go. The Wreck of the Titan. All right. So what we're going to do is we're given 10, okay, on this strip here, we're given 10 passengers of the Titanic, okay? Because the Titanic had a 40% survival rate, notice out of these 10, we have 4 survivors and we have 6 victims, right? Because 40% survival rate. So 40 lived, 60% died, right? So out of 10, 4 would live, 6 would die. What we're going to do is we're going to calculate the mean fare for each pile. And then we're going to find the difference between the mean fares for the two groups. Okay, so mean of the survivor fares minus the mean of the victim fares. And then we'll answer this question, but before we get there, okay? How do I calculate the mean?
You add them together, divide by.
Okay, so add our amounts together and divide by how many there are, yes? So if I want to calculate the mean for my survivors, I'm going to take my 4 survivors and add the fares, okay? And actually, we have our activity that we can be doing this on. So this actually kicks off our activity right here. So we're going to calculate the mean for each of these survivors. So that's, and we're going to put this information right here in the initial 10. So for the 10 survivors, this is the 10, this is real data from Titanic and the victims, right? So pull up my calculadora here, okay? And we're gonna calculate the mean for our survivors first. So there's 4 of them. So it's gonna be 775, so 775 plus $26 plus 56, 0.93. Plus 263. Holy moly. Okay, that person was rich. Okay, that's not the mean though, right? That's just the total. So now I got to divide this by 4 because I had 4 survivors and we get 88.42.
That last one's an outlier. That shouldn't count.
That is an outlier, but it's also a truth. Okay, so 88.42 is our mean fair price for the survivor. So we're going to put that right over here, 88.42. Okay. Now we're going to calculate the mean fair price for our victims. So I'm going to move my calculator on this side now. Clear that. So now our victims, we have 46. See, that's still pretty high. 1350 plus 805. Ooh, no, not 85. 805 plus 723 plus 3070 and plus 1440. Okay, and then I'm going to divide that by 6 because I had 6 victims. 1998. So the mean fair price for the victims was 1998. Now, if I want to calculate the difference in the means, I'm going to take the mean fair price for the survivors, 88.42, minus 1998 for my victims. Okay, so pull up the calculator again. 88.42 minus 1998, and we get 68.44. So the difference in the average prices of their ticket, the difference in the average prices of the survivors' tickets versus the victims' tickets was $68.44. Okay. Now I want you guys to determine, okay? I want you to determine using this amount or paying attention to the 68.44. Based on the data, do you think that rich people were more likely to survive? In other words, did passengers who paid more for their tickets have a better chance of survival? Okay, I want you guys to answer this question in your activity here. Answer that question in your activity. And I'll give you guys 2 minutes to do so. The mean fare for the victims was 1998. Okay, I'm going to give you guys 2 minutes to go ahead and put in your name on the into this link. Okay, put your name in. And I want you guys to decide if you're going to be a victim of rich, if you're going to be rich and dead, rich and alive, poor and dead, poor and alive. I don't know.
Hey, the name's still there.
No.
Wait, hold on. It says editor. Oh, wait, hold on. I got you.
After its name.
Okay, refresh the page.
No.
Refresh the page, y'all. Refresh the page. I forgot to move the tab. I forgot to move the tab. I'm sorry. Okay.
I moved.
No, just refresh the page. It should load good now. Yes, someone who got.
I'm gonna be that person.
I'm like, no one's writing anything, but they're all like down there.
Okay, none of us want to know.
Remember to leave the box, guys. Leave the box. Go to like go to column D or E once you're done. Okay, go to column D or E once you're done, so that we can see your name. All right, so Carter. Carter is like a middle class survivor. Okay, right now. So is Alex. Dimitri is like the bougiest of the bougie in the class. Okay, Melanie is gonna be a poor survival. She survived mainly on her survival skills. Good for you, Mel. Ruben is like on the bougie side of things. Ruben, you paid over like $1,000 for your cabin, man. Dang. No, Dimitri's is probably around like 10 grand with today's money. Lena died. These are the real fair prices. Yes, Adam. This is real data. We just took 40 out of like the all of the passengers. Okay, you guys have 40 seconds left to write your name in, y'all. 40. Who's here? Isaac, once you're done writing, leave the box.
Hey, Miss K,
Yes.
why are the price are like not stable? Like, you know, like it's not,
The prices are stable. These are the prices here, the fair.
but it's just like free range.
Oh, well, because it's back then, depending on what you paid for. Food wasn't included. If you were poor, food wasn't included for you. So it's a lot of different. Plus, it was like how many people are going to stay in one room. That also accounted for it.
What are you doing for it with $7? Just curious.
Okay, but you have to realize $7 with today's money. $7 with today's money is around like $100. No, no. It's around $200. Remember, $20 is the equivalent of 500. So $7 back then is around $200. Okay. All right. So time's up. If you got your name on here, right on. If you didn't, no more. You cannot anymore. I will not allow it. Okay, so I'm gonna refresh my page so all y'all can get off. Okay, so I'm gonna do something really quick to make our lives a little bit easier here. And I agree that I should have done this earlier, but I did not. And I was trying to earlier, but it didn't happen. Okay. Paste. So you guys are still with the same people. It's chill. There we go. All right. So we have our victims and we have our survivors. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to do our first shuffle, y'all. So we're going to do our first shuffle. But first, let's understand fair versus survival. Okay. One of the controversies of the Titanic disaster was that some people felt that the rich people were given better access to lifeboats than were the poor passengers. So rich people were more likely to survive. Note that the data represented on the fare cards are only a subset of the actual Titanic data, which had over 800 passengers. However, the data were randomly selected from the real data and are considered representative of the 800 passengers. Now we will tear each strip. We're not doing that, okay? And we're gonna randomly shuffle using our Google Sheets, okay? We're gonna randomly shuffle using our Google Sheets, okay? So the question that I want to ask you guys here is, Why do we shuffle the survivor and victim strips and not the fair strips? So I want you guys, after we do, actually, this is before we do our first shuffle. Why, when I shuffle this, okay, I want you guys to think about it. When we shuffle this, okay, why is it that I'm moving the victim and the survivor, but not the fair? Why is it that only the victim and the survivor are being shuffled, but not the actual fairs? The fairs are staying put and your names are staying put. Okay. So this is a journal entry we want to do. Why do we shuffle the survivor and victim column and not the fair column? Do you think the mean fair difference of our shuffled groups will be higher or lower than before? Okay, I want you guys to answer these two questions. I'll give you 3 minutes to do so. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to shuffle our victim and our survivor randomly, and we're going to see where the survivor and the victims end up in our chart, or I'm sorry, in our Excel sheet. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to help you guys calculate the mean for each of them, and you guys are going to calculate the difference in the means. Okay, so if we take a look back here, so I have all your names here, right? I have my victims and I have my survivors. There we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my random numbers here, copy. Oop, not there. Paste. Okay. So we're going to now sort the victim and our random numbers from smallest to largest. Okay. There we go. So let's see where the survivors ended up. Edward survived, still a survivor. Carter, still a survivor. A no-name person survived. Stephen Isaac, sorry guys, you died. Alex survived. Oh, looky, little cute Dimitri survived. Jaylene survived. Lena, congratulations, Lena. A few no-name people. Fernanda. No name. Devin's a survivor. All right. And then let's see up here. Okay, a bunch of no-name people. So what we want to do is we want to calculate, okay, we want to calculate the mean fair price of the survivors and the victims. Remember me telling you that there's like 15 survivors and 25 victims, and it's going to be hard for you guys to calculate it. Well, that's where Sheets is going to come in to help us, okay? So in our sheets, I'm going to actually calculate the means for you, and you guys are going to calculate the differences, okay? So I'm going to use the sum function here, oops, equals sum function, and you'll learn a little trick here too, okay? And then I'm just going to select all of my survivors, which is another reason why I color coded. What do you mean a command? I don't think it's that advanced. Okay, so I'm adding those numbers up and I'm dividing by 15 because I had 15 survivors. Okay, so our mean, I'm sorry, the mean for the survivors for our first shuffle. Okay, shuffle 1 is 38.52. So we're gonna come over here and we're gonna put that right here as 38.52. Okay. I need my glasses here. All right, and then I'm gonna do the same thing for the victims. Okay, so I'm gonna do equals sum. Okay, and then I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna select my victims. It's the wrong thing. There we go. Okay, that one, that one, that one, that one. Oh, I did B5 twice. I'm sorry. Let me catch that. Okay. There we go. No. Hold on, don't write that down. I messed up. Sorry, guys. Okay. So that one, 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 that one. Sorry. You're like, oh, great, Miss K, this is so entertaining. You selecting things. All right, and then we're gonna divide this one by 25 because there was 25 victims. Okay, so this one is 20.88. Okay, 20.88. So I want you guys now to go ahead and calculate the difference in the means, okay, while I reshuffle. Okay, so 3852, 2088, calculate the difference in the means. So I'm going to now take my another set of random numbers. I want to reshuffle. Try something quick. All right. So we have no name survivors here for the second one. Let's see. Vanessa, you survived now. Devin, still a survivor. Wait, no, Devin, you died. Devin's dead. Fernanda's dead too. Lena and Ruben survived. Right on. Mel and Jaylene, you went kaput. Dimitri still survived. Look at that. Okay, Alex, you survived. Okay, good, good, good. Okay, Isaac and Steve, sorry guys, you went kaput. And then Edward died too. All right, so now let's do our second shuffle means. Okay, so shuffle 2, okay, equals sum. So now I'm gonna do the average of the survivors again. Okay, so average of our survivors. I'm just selecting our survivors here. And then we have 15 survivors, so we're going to be dividing by 15. Okay. Okay, so 34.93. 34.93 is the mean fair price for the survivors for our second shuffle. Okay, for our third shuffle here, I'm sorry, not the third shuffle. Now we're gonna do this for the sum of the victims. Okay, so. Okay, close that up, divide by 25. Got 2304. 2304. Okay, go ahead and calculate the difference in the mean there. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna shuffle again. We're shuffling. Sort one more time. Oh, Edward survived now. Carter, you're still dead.
How does Dimitri keep surviving?
Okay, so Steve and Isaac are living now. They have risen from the dead. Dimitri's still a survivor. He's a survivor.
I'm gonna feel
Okay.
it IRL.
Jaylene, you're a survivor now. Okay, no name here. Vanessa, congratulations. You are now surviving.
Adam's still dead.
Adam is still dead. Sorry, Adam. All right, so shuffle 3, y'all. Let's calculate those means, yeah? Okay, so we got equals thumb. Okay, and we're gonna select our survivors. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, Scrolling on down, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So we added our 15 survivors, and we're gonna divide that sum by 15 to get that average. So that's gonna be 35.95. So that's our average for the mean fair price for our survivors. For shuffle 3. Now let's do our mean fair price for our victims. So sum one more time. Now let's select our victims. We have that guy, that guy, that guy. That's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Two, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Okay, add those guys up, close that parentheses for that sum, divide that by 25. Ba-bam. We have 22.42. So the average fair price for those survivors right there was 22.42. Okay, we got 2 more shuffles in us, y'all. 2 more shuffles. 2 more shuffles.
I want them either dead.
Whoa, them some fighting words. All right, let's do our next shuffle here. Copy. Paste. See the amazing things we can do with Excel. Okay, we're gonna start column D. All right. Dang it, Dimitri's still surviving. Wow, look at that,
I
y'all.
want you dead.
Oh, Lena, you're living again. Fernanda's alive again. Devin's
Hurt
dead.
my hand. That was like actual aggression behind that.
Devin's dead. Let's see.
Yeah, you know,
Nope, Adam, you're still dead. Wow, a bunch of no-name people survived, y'all.
Like such.
Look at that. Wasn't that pretty? This is crazy, y'all. This is crazy. I swear I'm not planning this. I swear. Okay. All right, let's. I have no favoritism whatsoever. This is a random program. All right, let's highlight our survivors, y'all. Okay, Mia, I see your comment, sweetie. Good luck. All right, let's get our survivors here.
Survivors and Dimitri. I'm gonna just start strangling you.
Oh, Jesus.
Sorry.
Oh, Jesus. Okay. Okay, divide that. Wait, did I get that all? I did, yeah. Divide that by our 15. Okay, so shuffle. Wait, what happened? I did multiply it. Thank you so much. There we go. $36.61. $36.61, y'all. For our mean of the mean fair prices for our survivors. Let's take a look at the victims' mean fair prices. So equal sum. Okay, now let's highlight our victims. Whew, poor guys. This is what I mean when I'm going to victimize you, y'all. Wait, wrong one. Hold on, let me clear that. You guys see, Devin, did you ever survive?
I survived once.
Once, okay. So someone who paid nothing to get on the Titanic can survive.
Devin's back on the Titanic.
Was Poseidon up there?
All right, close that up, divided by 25, y'all. Okay, 22.03, 22.03. Okay, so remember, you guys are supposed to be finding these difference in means, right? Difference in means. I'm gonna call on a few of you guys to give me those differences in a moment. We're gonna do our last shuffle. Last shuffle, y'all. Copy that. Paste it, puppet.
Please, can we keep shuffling?
Who knows? Maybe you'll die on this last one.
Yeah.
All right, sort.
It is.
Oh my God!
Shuffle again.
Oh, we're gonna take our data as we have it right now.
One.
Vanessa survived. Let's see who else. Fernando, you're still living.
I'm still dead.
Ruben, you still survived. Adam's still dead. Yeah, Adam, I'm
Me
sorry.
and Adam are dead, man.
Let's see.
I'm gonna kill you.
Oh my gosh. Mel and Jaylene are kaput. Lena's kaput.
I'm gonna kill.
Isaac, you died again. Steve, you survived. Alex
I'm
survived.
strangle you.
Carter, you are a survivor.
I'll never let go.
I will.
Edward's dead. Sorry, Edward. Sadness. All right, let's go ahead and get our last means here, guys, for our shuffle number 5. I feel like I should say mambo number 5.
Okay.
Chiccio mi sera. All right, let's see here. So survivors, y'all. Okay, survivors. We got this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy,
Oh, never mind.
this guy, this guy, this guy,
Sorry.
this guy, this guy, this guy. Okay, so Dimitri's surviving has definitely made it so that all of our difference, our means are going to be positive.
You're welcome, everybody.
Okay,
Deal with absolute value crap like that.
so mean survival rate for the survivors here is 4193. Mean fair rate, I'm sorry, for our survivors is going to be 41. What did I say?
93.
4193. Okay, 4193. Yikes. Okay. All right, and now let's do our victims here. Last victim one. Okay, so we have that guy, that guy. Is it okay? I was wondering because sometimes it's like a yellow color and I can barely see it. Okay. No, thank you for. Oh crud! Hold on. No. That messed up. That messed up. Hold on. We still want to add stuff, guys. Why are you taking that away? Oh. Okay, I gotta start over here. Hold on. I'm sorry. It's Dimitri's fault.
What the hell?
Wrong one, y'all.
That's what you guys get for being victim.
Hey, your money saved you, okay? Nothing else. You're lucky you're so rich your money was paper, so it helped you float. Because if it was coins, you would have sank straight down. Right? Like a pirate's booty. All right, divide that puppy by 25. Nope, didn't divide it. No, thank you. I appreciate that. That's 1884, y'all. 1884.
Oh, wow.
I know. Okay, so let's see. Amber, what's the difference for shuffle number 1? Madeline, I want the difference for shuffle number 2 from you. Amber, give me the difference for shuffle number 1. Adeline, shuffle number 2. My chat's open. I love how the 2 people I just called are not here. No wonder they're not responding. I don't know. Okay, Isaac, you give me the difference for shuffle number 1. Let's get that from Isaac. Isaac, if you said something, I didn't hear it.
I'll give it to you right now, Ms. Kerr.
Okay, thank you. Let's see here. Can I get Edward, give me the difference for shuffle number 2, please. Edward. Mel, can I get shuffle number 3, please? From you. Thank you, Mel. So shuffle number 3, we have 1353. Isaac, I asked you for shuffle number 2. Okay, that's gonna be 1764, you said. Okay, thank you.
No. You asked him for one.
Did I ask him for one?
Yeah, Edward's too.
Okay, thank you.
Forgive me.
Edward, still waiting on number
Wow,
2,
maybe
please. Edward, still waiting on number 2. Let's go, buddy.
Every 5 seconds. You should be dead. I hate you.
Shuffle number 4.
Hello?
Let me get it from,
Ms. K,
yes, Edward.
you said shuffle number 2 is 11.89.
11.89. Thank you, sir.
Welcome.
Okay, Devin, give me shuffle number 4.
I got 14.58.
14.58. Thank you. And Jaylene, give me shuffle number 5.
I got 2309.
2309.
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much. All right, so you guys see these numbers here? Compare them to that one from the original data. Compare them to the 6844 difference from the original data. Okay, I want you guys to think about that. Think about the range that these numbers are in compared to that number right there, right? It shows that, look at, it's like 1764, 11, 13, 14, 2309 versus 68. This kind of a difference where the chance, by chance differences are so close to each other, they're within a range of each other, right? Versus 68, which is like all the way out there. It kind of shows you that the real data, yes, there was some sort of skew. There was something else at play where the wealthier passengers survived more often than the poorer passengers. Okay, it proves it empirically, it proves it with data, right? So, and I want to show you guys that as far as visual representation goes, because on this dot plot, let's say I'm gonna put our differences of the means in our dot plot here. I'm just gonna put little stamps there, okay? So the 68, let's say the 68, obviously there's no 68 here. So I'm gonna like put it all the way over here. Here's our 68, right? Okay. Devin, do me a favor and tell me the other numbers. The differences in your chart.
17.64.
Okay, so 17.64, let's say that's gonna be somewhere in the middle here. So 1764, go for it.
11.98.
Either way, it doesn't matter.
Like so. 13.53.
13.53,
14.58.
14.58,
And 23.09.
23.09. So these are the differences of the means on what we on what we did with our shuffle, right? By our by chance, where the only thing at play was that random shuffle. Versus right all the way over here at 68, right? From the real data, the real paired up. Does that make sense? Okay. So visually, we can even see like this is way out of that range. Okay, we can see that visually as well. Okay, so what we're gonna do now, oops, stamp's still on, yo. Let me turn off my annotations. It's all right, come on. So what we wanna look at is, remember that small differences might be due to chance, and big differences typically mean that there is a real difference between the groups, meaning there's something else, there's something as a real world thing that's affecting the difference between the groups. In this case, a big difference might mean that the rich passengers were more likely to survive, and a small difference might mean that that survival was just a matter of plain luck. Okay. So one way that we can decide what is large or small is by creating cutoff values that we think are too far away from the center of distributions of differences, such as MAD or standard deviation, right? So we can create our own cutoff values. So, I mean, our differences went up to like 23. So we can say if there's anything above 25 or anything below whatever, you know, then if it's within this range, that means it's due to chance. If it's outside this range, that means it was a real thing. There was something real life affecting it. Okay. So I want you guys to answer, do you think the real difference in mean fair prices you calculated for the initial 10 is small or large? So this right here, the mean fair prices that you calculated for the initial 10, that's what we're talking about in this area right here, this guy. The difference in the mean for the initial 10. This is the initial 10, right? This is the real data. So the question here, it's on your document. Do you think the real differences in mean fair prices that you calculated for the initial 10 is a small value or a large value? And of course, that goes with a Y, right? So go ahead and finish answering that question. I'll give you guys 2 minutes to do so. Okay, 2 minutes to do so. Okay.
Nice.
So that's essentially it for today's lesson. On our next voyage, ladies and gentlemen, in the next lab, which is lab 2F, okay, the Titanic shuffle, you will use our studio to shuffle the actual Titanic data of all 800 passengers. So remember, we only took 40, right? 40 representative ones, but on your lab, you're going to be using all 800 passengers. You decide if the difference in survival rates of rich passengers and poor passengers was real, meaning there was other factors at play, or if it was just due to chance, it was just random, okay? Give you a hint. In life, hardly anything is ever just due to chance, okay? But hey, we gotta let the data speak for itself, right? All right, ladies and gentlemen, as you know, we're done with our stress and chill campaign. Okay, so I will be checking your entries as of Friday. And if you did your 20 entries, then you'll get your 50 points. If not, then points will be taken off. Okay, but we're done collecting data for the stress and chill because we will be using our stress and chill campaign data next week when we do our lab for next week. The stress and chill, yeah, I literally just said that. Also, heads up, y'all. Heads up. Next Monday, we have no school. Woohoo! Okay. Next Monday, we have no school, ladies and gentlemen. And also, schedule-wise, this is on the agenda, but start looking for your books. Start looking for finding your textbooks, because I believe they're going to ask you to start bringing them in next week. Okay, especially my seniors. Okay, so start getting your books ready. For IDS, you do not need to bring in your practice books. They are consumables. I don't want them back. Okay, but your other classes like English, Spanish, science, whatever other classes, history. Okay, start looking for your books and make sure that you have them so that you can turn them in. Especially seniors, if you do not have a book that you turn in, you will end up having to pay for it. Textbooks are not cheap. Okay, they range from $100 to $200 each. All right, ladies. Oh, Chromebooks, yes. Yeah, they haven't talked to us about Chromebooks yet. But either way, ladies and gentlemen, have a wonderful, wonderful day. I'm dismissing you 10 minutes early. Lucky you, okay? We will be doing our lab next Wednesday, so I'll have your tutorial ready for you on that day. It'll be very similar to Lab 2E with the horror movie shuffle. Have a wonderful, wonderful day, ladies and gents. Be safe. I will see you on Wednesday. Bye.
Bye,
Miss
Miss
K?
K. Have a good day.
Bye. Thank you, Isaac.
Miss K,
Yes, hon.
what's the Big Ideas Math Algebra 2 Common Core? Is that the hard book, the hardcover textbook?
Yes. Why do you?
No, they're charging me. Isn't the book in their class? Because he told us to keep it in the class.